I had a guy called Commodore. He was an alien. He came from outer space, and obviously we used a voice thing that changed your voice, a really deep alien type of voice. And he was more like a teacher. He used to come down and he used to teach us things. He used to teach
I believe
us
we
about
have
safe
a
sex.
caller.
And,
we have a caller.
Yeah, don't drink and drive, and safe sex, and anything to do with that would help us here on Earth. And it was great.
So,
we'd only bring him in once a week, and he would come in and he would give us some sound advice. I think the most favourite.
We got a caller. I'm going to put him on with you guys. We got a caller.
Right, okay. Am I talking too much? Am I?
No, this is great.
Hello.
Is there anybody there? This is Melvin Spacely. How do you do?
Hi, Melvin. Welcome to the show.
Yes. Yes, I believe I would like to apply for the position of news caster.
You're hired. You don't get paid anything, but you're hired.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, I'd like to do the news for Monster Castle Paranormal.
Oh, yeah, okay. You got a great voice.
Yeah, you sound like you should have been into art or something like that, really.
Well,
you sound a bit arty to me.
Actually, I'm not from this planet.
All right, okay.
What planet are you from?
I can't tell you.
Well, okay. Why not?
Top secret.
Okay, do you have any advice for us here on Earth?
Not really. I just like telling the news. I don't know much about anything else.
Oh,
right,
you don't know about Donald Trump or anything?
No, I just read the articles that you give me.
Ah, okay. What are your views on Donald Trump?
Anything of our secrets must be aside from this show.
So,
would you like to? Why don't you try doing the news and we'll see how it goes?
Yeah, give him the job for God's sake.
Right then.
Give him an article to read.
Yeah.
All right. I can come up with something. I'm sure.
It has to go. It has to be convincing. It has to be very convincing. You've got to have the voice, otherwise you're going to be flushed down the pan.
All right. Find something.
And even if it is convincing, you can still get sacked, right?
Yeah, flush him down the toilet. Yeah. Do you know, I've just realised I've got through nearly a whole bottle of wine here while I've been talking to you guys.
Nice.
Well, there's a giant, fantastic giant floating alien is shocking the internet. This bizarre and uncanny can bring both fascination and dread, for all it defies everything we have been taught during our lifetime. With its chaotic natures giving birth to a more improbable world. Every once in a while, someone films and takes a photo of something so strange it's hard to find any meaning or explanation behind it. Things like ghosts or spiritual-looking entities have some degree of explanation, as they are part of another realm that is connected with ours, where the dead reside. This has been Melvin Spacely for Monster Castle Paranormal News.
Nice, Melvin. You're hired.
Okay. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. So you do. I'm talking to. He's gone.
Yeah,
Melvin is
that was
Melvin
pretty good, Melvin. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
That was good, Melvin. You are hired. I dig it, man. That was groovy, all right. I guess we got a new newscaster.
Where were we?
Probably time for a. Yeah, it's almost time for another break in 5 minutes, or it's going to be an hour and a half. Oh no, in 10 minutes.
Right.
In 10 minutes, it'll be an hour and a half.
Well, this is what happened last time, wasn't it? You said, do you want to do a quick interview? And it was 2.25 hours or something.
Yeah. Well,
you know?
If you're having
but
fun,
he only
right?
asked me 3 questions and I never stopped talking. That's the problem. I just go and go and go, and I talk for England, you know?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to post that picture. I never did, I don't think. Add images. Here we go. There we go. Pictures.
I think you need... is this the one I sent you today?
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and I didn't post it, so I'm trying to...
Right, so if you're going to post it, post the first one I sent you, which is the small image just over the shoulder. Yeah?
Yeah, I know I downloaded it here. Where is it? Damn.
Spooks,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking for it. Oh.
Why do you said that you donate for cancer research?
Yeah. All the spiritual work I do, all goes to cancer. And that's the reason I do that. Well, I always used to anyway, but the main reason is I lost my brother in 2012 from a really awful form of cancer, and
okay,
that is the reason. You know, if I can help in any way, even just a small donation here and there, if it can help in any way, then you know, it's the way forward.
Sure.
And he's been back to see me as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's fascinating. In fact, he was the one in my second book, possibly. I always wondered what it was like in heaven.
Yeah.
And I was in the pub one lunchtime on a Sunday, and I was just chatting away to my friends, and heaven came up. And somebody turned around and said, "Oh, Spooks, why don't you talk to your spirit guides and ask them what heaven's like?" I said, you know what? That's a great idea. I've never actually given that a thought.
Okay, what I'm doing here, I'm posting that image and onto 47 Talk, and it says Spooks image number 1. And hashtag 47 Talk on Twitter. Just so everyone if anyone listening wants to see the image, that's where you can go see it right now.
Right, that's not coming up on my screen, is it? No.
If you go to Twitter, no.
I'm not going to press anything on the screen because I'll lose it.
No, are you talking about your? If you're talking about your Skype screen, nothing will come on your Skype screen. It's just going to Twitter.
Go to Twitter.
Right, I'll leave it as it is. I'll have a look in a minute.
It's the one with the girl's face.
Getting back to my brother.
It's the one with that girl's face. That you were talking about, and I can see the eye.
Yeah,
and
you can
see the face,
and you can see the hair. Can you see the two curls coming down over her forehead?
Yeah, but I almost think there might be another one face beside hers.
Well,
and one in the back. I see 3 faces.
If you look over,
are you sure that's not just Peridot?
To the right of her head.
Yeah.
Just behind her, there's a young boy looking over her shoulders, and you can over the side of her head.
That's what I'm saying.
You can see his nose and his eyes.
I can see,
and his dark hair brushed off to one side.
Possibly up to 3 faces in this picture.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure. What is it called? Pareidolia.
Further down, there's another face.
Could it be Pareidolia?
That's the murderer. That's the one with the open mouth.
Oh. Okay. Oh, that's that house, the one with the 2 murders.
Remember, there's 3 spirits here.
Okay. Yeah. Just to recap, if anyone just jumped in, just so I'm playing stupid right now.
Is there any other way?
Well, I'm good at it.
Wolfman.
Yeah, brother.
I want to get back to what heaven was like.
Okay, back to that. I just wanted to, because I forgot to post this, A lot of people might have been waiting to see that picture, so there it is. So go back to... actually, we should take a break, though.
Okay.
No, we should.
Well, we can hit that when we get back.
Yeah. Because we've been doing this a long time, man. Here, I'll throw something on, and we're going to have a break right now. We'll be back in a little while on Monster Castle Paranormal. Thanks for listening, folks. All right. KTLK, thefringe.fm.
All right. Yeah. Can you dig it? Fantastic. It's your invitation to avoid the nauseation, frustration, desolation, mutilation, degradation. We like to rock, and this is a donation station. Yeah, baby. Go to monstercastleparanormal.com and donate today. Keep us rocking, man.
This is the Monster Castle Paranormal Radio Show. We explore the paranormal phenomenon with researchers and skeptics from all walks of life and beyond. Fridays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, on KTLK, Digital Broadcasting Network, thefringe.fm. Visit our website at monstercastleparanormal.com.
For Monster Castle Paranormal.
Igor, stop that.
With the wolf.
Don't do that, Igor. Stop it.
Okay. Midnight, when the moon is full. Yeah. Fridays and Saturdays. So it's midnight. Eastern Standard Time. If you're in Pacific.
Renounce this superstitious and hysteric program of the MCP.
You see ghosts, you talk about them, aliens, talk about them. Are you kidding me, Wolfman? You literally had ghosts going on a ghost box. You're going to lose a lot of credibility. Lake Monster gobble you up in one fucking bite. I'm calling you out, my friend. You were scared of the girl from Texas. Well, I sure wouldn't be sitting there admiring the rippling, glistening fucking muscles of the fucking marsupial.
She was hairier than this ass fudge. Oh my goodness.
Who in the world are you? Hollering like that.
It's driving me nuts.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Art came in and shut it off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think Art came in and shut it off. Wow, he spoiled all the fun. Jeez.
That's what happens when you don't get your 8 hours sleep, you see.
Oh, man. Well, I don't know what happened to Art, man. Well, that was pretty good anyway. That was good enough for a break. I think. Hey, guys, what do you think?
Sure.
Or would you like me to... we have a caller. That'd be great. What were we talking about?
He got a vision at the pub about what it's like in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
I knew there was something we were leaving.
Yeah, it was basically... I was talking to my friends and heaven came up and I said, well, you know, what it's like in heaven. And somebody said, well, why don't you ask your spirit guides that you keep going on about all the time what it's like? And I went, yeah, I never thought of that. That's a great idea. So I came home that day, spent the rest of the day cleaning the house and having my tea and a couple of pints and went to bed. And when I started to feel comfortable with it, I started to meditate. I tuned in with my spirit guides and I asked them, can you show me, please, what my heaven is like, where I'm going to go? I'm very interested. And what do you think they showed me? What do you think they would show me?
Maybe the ocean? I don't know.
Well, basically, they showed me a huge forest, a wood, lots and lots of beautiful, beautiful trees. Running through the middle of that wood was a stream, a trickling stream, down onto a small waterfall, into a little pool, and then trickling off into the distance. And next to the pool was a little wooden bench where I could sit down. And this is all the stuff I love. I live in the country. I live right on the edge of a wood, and I live close to a river. And this is the stuff in my heart that I call my heaven. So basically what my spirit guides are saying to me, whatever you want your heaven to be, it will be. And I thought, that's quite novel. That's a great way of looking at it. So I then tuned in to my brother, and I said, okay, Peter, I know you're in spirit. I want you to tell me something, please. Can you show me what it's like where you are in your heaven? And they showed me a shopping mall with lots of people mulling around, shops all over the place, and my brother in the shopping mall shopping around. And I know for a fact that was his heaven. He absolutely adored and loved going into shopping malls, going shopping. That was his number one thing. That was his heaven. And that's where he is. He's happy as Larry, you know? So obviously heaven is what you want it to be. If you're an alcoholic, it's got to be a bottle of wine, you know? If you like, you know, if you're a cyclist, you've got to be out on your bike all day, you know? Whatever your heaven, whatever you want it to be. It sounds to me as though that's what heaven is.
Wow. Shopping mall.
Yeah, well, that's his heaven. That's what Peter. That's what Peter liked. That's what he loved. And any chance he could get, he would go shopping. Absolutely loved it.
Hey. I hope he has some money to spend up there.
Oh, he was quite a well-off guy when he was down here. But I mean, up there, I don't think there is anything such as money or, you know what I mean. So yeah, he absolute heaven.
Hey, Darren,
you have what you want. You know, you just ask for it, and you've got it basically. Great. Darren, we can't stay there forever.
So, okay, what you're saying is, okay, Spooks. I gotta tell Darren something about you. This guy, you can pretty much ask him any question, kind of like Athena. Like,
yeah,
she will get the answer for you. He will too. He can get the answer. He has guides that give him the answer. You can almost ask him any question. Like we were asking about Stonehenge, so. If you have anything you're curious about, ask him. He's probably asked his guides about some of the things that you're curious about. So you might want to ask him a heavy-duty question.
I wouldn't mind asking him about that 700 million year old coffin they found in Russia, if it's real or if people were around that long ago.
Well, obviously, if they found a coffin, they must have been around that long ago. I mean, if you want to go back quite a long way, like Wolfman just said about Stonehenge. I'm not altering off the course of your question. I can't answer that right now because I honestly really don't know unless I do some spiritual work on it. But sure. With Stonehenge, I was again.
Write it down, folks. Write it down, and we'll keep reminding him to get the answer on that one.
I was in the pub one day talking about Stonehenge, and somebody said to me, can you find out what Stonehenge was really around for? And I went, yeah, well, probably, but I've never actually given it a thought. And that night I came back, just like I did with Heaven. I tuned into my spirit guides, and I found out what Stonehenge was actually originally built for. When I found out, I actually called Stonehenge. I only live probably an hour and a half away from Stonehenge. And
what was it used for?
Well, I asked my spirit guides, can you show me what Stonehenge was originally used for, why it was built? And they showed me in pictures a picture of Stonehenge. They showed me a picture of the sun and the moon. They showed me a large clock, a clock face. I'm trying to think back now what on earth it was, because it was quite a while ago.
So they showed celestial.
Not so much. And then they showed me an owl, a wise old owl, and they showed me some animals, cows and goats and things like that. They showed me a bowl of fruit and some trees. They showed me trees with lots of lush green leaves on them, and then they showed me trees with no green leaves on them at all. Anyway, I sat down and I looked at all these pictures. I drew all the pictures down the next morning, what I'd seen, and what I worked out what Stonehenge was for, it was like a how would you call them in America? I don't know, a university? Is that what you call them over there? A college?
Yes, both.
Yeah. Right.
Fraternity? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, a university.
Yeah, university or a college. Now,
field party?
From what they were showing me that Stonehenge was a place of learning, where you would come in. The learning came from the wise old owl. That's what they were showing me. Yeah, this is the learning part. Then they showed me the sun and the moon. So they're showing me about the time of the day, because they showed me the clock afterwards as well, the clock face. So they showed me the time of the day, the morning, the noon, the night, and everything else. They showed me the fruit. They showed me the animals. So basically what it is a place of learning where you would go to learn about well, back in those days, I think most people lived through farming. That's how they survived. So Stonehenge was built and set in a certain way, so that at certain times of the year it told you when to put the animals out, when to bring them back in the fields for the winter.
Farmers will tell you, and we'll tell you what the weather is too, and come on over to the big crop circle and have some beer with us, and we're gonna have you'll have to do a little bit of work for the beer though. We got lots of work around the farm.
Yeah, I was in those days. So they were telling you when to put the animals out. When the sun was at a certain place on Stonehenge, that's when you put the animals out at a certain time. Yeah. When the sun got to another place, you would bring them back. When it got to another stone, that's when you plant your crops. When it got to another stone, that's when you would harvest your crops. And it was a college. It was a place to learn this and this and this and this. And when you've learned everything about farming that you need to know, courtesy of Stonehenge, then you shoot off with the family, because there are buildings, or there were, they're not there anymore, but there were houses and huts and buildings and dormitories and all sorts that used to be all around Stonehenge. And I believe that this is what they used to house the people that came along to college, like a student's place to live, you know what I mean, the halls, or whatever they call them. That's where the students would live, in these buildings. When they learned about everything, they would move off with the whole family. They would get their own farm. And if you ever look on the internet, you'll notice that there are lots of little stone circles all over the world. Back in those days, a lot of families had their own little special stone circle on their land, on their farm. And
like a smaller
a really smaller scale Stonehenge. And it would be set up, and they would say, right, this is where you set your first stone. There, bang. And then when the sun is there, that's your second stone, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So everybody now has a mini Stonehenge on their farm. So they know when to harvest. They know when to plant. They know when to let the animals out. They know when to do this. They know when to sow the seed. They know when to pick the fruit off the tree, because they've learned it at Stonehenge.
It makes you wonder if students would go there and spend a full year there, to learn everything.
And I'm sure they would, even nowadays, if they did it, and they went along, I'm sure. But I called Stonehenge, I rang them up, and they did not want to listen to me. They didn't want to know. They weren't interested in the slightest. I said, I've sent you an email. In fact, I've sent you 2 emails about what I have learned about Stonehenge, what I think it was originally used for. She said, well, who are you? I said, well, I'm a psychic, I'm a medium, and I talk to the spirit world. And she went, oh, we're not interested in all that. I went, whoa, hang on a minute. I said, excuse me, girl, this is supposed to be the most spiritual site in the world, or one of the most spiritual sites in the world, and you're telling me you're not interested? I said, okay, fair enough, fine. And we just parted, and that was it. And it got me thinking, well, how did they move those stones? I mean, they were huge. They were absolutely huge. And I knew, I had read that they moved them from I don't know if you know the set out of the UK and Wales and Scotland and all that, yeah? Well, they were moved apparently from Wales. These stones came from Wales, and they were moved right down onto the plain down in the south of England, which is quite a long way. And
so they know where they were quarried from?
Yeah, exactly where they were quarried from. They were quarried in South Wales, which is, I would imagine, is probably 150 miles away, maybe 150, yeah, something like that. 180 miles away. So I asked my spirit guides, I said, can you show me, please, how they moved these huge rocks, these huge stones from South Wales down to the plains down in the south of England? And they showed me, what was the word? Now I've caught myself on the hop now. Oh, solution. That was the word. They showed me the word solution in capital letters. And I thought, right, they're asking me to work this out for myself, maybe. I don't know. Why would they show me that word? So I thought, okay, we'll leave it at that. So I went away, and it was a couple of days later, and I just finished work. I just finished teaching people to drive, and I was on my way home, and I was following a tanker, a big tanker with fuel in it, and the registration was OIL, oil. And I looked at it, I went, yes, that's what it was. That's the solution. It wasn't me fix the solution, sort the solution out myself. That's what they used to move the stones, a solution of some type, a type of slippery, it may be, oil of substance, chicken fat, oil, I don't know, some kind of oil, animal fat or something like that. And then they showed me a wooden structure of like a railway track, yeah, with the two lines, the two railway lines, yeah. And these structures were probably, I don't know, 20 foot long, maybe something like that. But there was loads of them, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And then they showed me a huge round stone, like I'm not sure what you call them over there. We call them marbles. What do you call them over there? Like a little round glass, and we flick them and play games with them, yeah?
Balls.
I don't know what you call them. Anyway.
We call them hairy balls.
And it was like a huge marble, and it was probably, I don't know, 10 foot high, 8 foot high, this round, perfectly round cylindrical stone. And it was covered in like a substance, and it was dropped onto these two tracks, and it was rolled along the tracks. But on the top of these balls had these big stones that they used at Stonehenge lying on the top of them. You understand? So the balls were rolling, and as they rolled, these big stones rolled along the top of them.
Huh.
Yeah, and then they would pick the wooden track up, run round the front, place it down again, and keep rolling. Pick the next one up, run round the front, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. I mean, okay, it would have got difficult when they got to rivers and hills and things like that. They would have found a way around it. If they can work that out, they can work that out,
Well, they did it.
Well, obviously, yeah. And what a brilliant way of doing it. And if you think about it logically, that would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why wouldn't Stonehenge listen to me? How bizarre.
Well, what did they say? How they got them down there?
I didn't even ask them. I just said that, do you want to know what it was used for? They said, no, not really. We're not interested in, we're not interested in spiritual stuff or, the what you do, talking to the dead and no, sorry, we're not interested. They said we deleted your emails. I went, all right, fair enough.
Well, I was just one person there. You might find someone else in the future.
Absolutely, it was a young girl. And to be honest, I don't think she was into what I'm into, and that's all it takes. You were exactly right. You've hit the nail right on the head there. Had it been somebody that perhaps believed in what we do, then they might say, wow, yeah, I'd love to listen to, what's it all about? But it doesn't matter to me. I did it for my own reasoning, to find out. I asked the question I wanted to know, and that's the reason they did it. That's why I was shown.
I wonder if the Miami Circle was one of those. Did you ever hear about the Miami Circle?
Is that the Bermuda Triangle?
No, they were excavating a building in like the late 90s down in Miami, and they found an old ancient rock circle.
All right.
Yeah, and you were saying that they found circles all over the world. I thought.
Oh, they're all over the world, absolutely everywhere. And was it pretty much the same set out as Stonehenge with the pillars?
Well, there were no pillars at the time, but there are definitely rocks in a circle, and it's ancient.
Right.
So they were going to build a new building, and then there was a big uproar, and everyone said, "No, this is a sacred site," and then they had to pay the builder off to save it.
But doesn't it fascinate you? I mean, how on earth did they know? I'm talking about the UK here, the south of the UK. How the hell could somebody go all the way across to America and build exactly the same as Stonehenge, and go to China and build the same, and go to Australia and build the same? And, how on earth do they know? It baffles me.
There's pyramids everywhere, all over the planet.
Oh, pyramids, yeah, totally different thing altogether, yeah. Yeah, and they are all over the planet, yeah. I mean, that was another thing. I actually, after I finished with Stonehenge, I asked how they would move the big stones for the pyramids, because it was on sand. And I thought, this will be interesting. And they showed me a sledge with people stood on the sledge, with water, pouring water onto the sand in front of the sledge, with the big stone behind them, and they were pulling the sledge along. So I thought, right, okay, fair enough. I don't understand what they're showing me, but I actually went onto the internet and I looked it up, and what they did did a reconstruction of what the Egyptians would have done, and they tried to pull the sledge along with a huge stone on it, maybe 100 weight, 200 weight or whatever, and when they pulled it on dry sand, it used to sink into the sand. It wouldn't go more than about 6 to 10 feet, 12 feet or something like that, and it would stop. It was stuck in the sand. But what they found out, that if they poured water onto the sand in front of the sled, the sand would go hard. When the tide goes out?
Yeah, I understand.
And it's hard. And the sled would pull across the top of the sand. And that's exactly what they did. That's how they moved the stones in Egyptian times.
Oh, I'd love to see them do it.
Oh, oh God, yeah. Wouldn't it be amazing to go back? I
think they did it with
all
the
the hieroglyphics and stuff like that. And there are pictures. I've actually found them on the internet of them with the sledge, with them stood on the sledge with the pitcher of water, pouring the water in front of the sledge, towing it along. I mean, that's amazing. Back in those days.
Hey, Spooks, have you ever asked them what that crook and flail is for? That the pharaohs always have that in their hands, and it's made of strange materials too. I'm not sure what's inside them. I know they're very intricate, and they have a special kind of metal in the middle of them, and then they're wrapped a certain way. It's almost like they're electrical or something.
No, I haven't.
And also, a lot of the Egyptians' furniture seems to be set up in a way with conductors and what's the other one? Not non-conductors or whatever, but electrically, like the chairs and everything. It looks like they're made to somehow work with electricity.
I think, in all sincerity, with my hand on my heart, I really strongly believe that I don't think that the pyramids were built without assistance from above. From maybe not so much the paranormal, but aliens. I really genuinely think that they came down and they helped them. I mean, you've only got to go back to the days of the cavemen. Let's go back to the cavemen, and they've got drawings on the wall of a matchstick man with a big ball on his head, like a round circle around his head.
Yeah. And
so
also pictures
it's not a halo. I don't think it's a halo.
We also got pictures of man and dinosaurs.
Absolutely, yeah. Way back then, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were seen, and I strongly believe that there was assistance from another world to help this world move forward. But in one of my books, I talked about one of my... I had regression done, as you probably remember. I went back to my last life, where I was a pilot in an aeroplane, and I crashed into the Pacific Ocean in World War II. My name was Greg Faldo, and from the moment I was born in this life, I don't like airplanes, I don't like heights, and I don't like deep water, and I don't like small spaces.
There's something wrong. There's something wrong with the name Faldo. It's coming to me. It's not quite Faldo. It's a different name.
No, it's not. It's Faldo. It's
Are you sure?
Did you find him? You should have been able to find him.
Well, this is where it gets amazing. Okay?
You said you contacted the Pentagon and even asked them about this.
I got in touch with the Pentagon, and I actually sent them an email, and I didn't think for a moment they'd get back to me. And this lady from the Pentagon actually got back to me. I wish I'd have kept that email, because it just comes through the Pentagon. That's all it comes through with on the top, wow. And she said, we've searched and we can't find anybody of that name. She said, but don't be put off. She said, please keep searching. She said, with a name like Faldo, I very much doubt whether he was American. He was more likely to be perhaps, I don't know, Italian or Spanish or something, or Mexican. I don't know. He might have been from another. It might not have been an American Air Force. He might have been working for another country, because she said that in the Pacific, in World War II, there were multiple countries fighting in the Pacific in World War II. Not just America, not just the UK, but all countries all around the world. I never did pursue it any further because it was very, very tiring. But I just want to say to Darren, I don't know if he actually heard.
I think we should make a game out of it. Where is Faldo?
Well, I know.
Don't you think? And we're gonna make a lot of money. We'll make
golf player,
maps, and we'll hide Faldo in there.
There's a golfer with Faldo.
Greg Faldo.
Where's he from? Where's he from?
Glenn Faldo. He's the golfer, isn't he, Glenn? I was Greg Faldo. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about this guy, where I got the name from, shall I? When Ghost Hunters was on the TV, when I was first on the TV, there was a lady in London, and she was an American lady, and she saw the programme. She got in touch with the driving school I was working for, because the name was on there, and she asked if she could speak to me, and they said, well, we can't give you his number, but what we could do is get him to call you. She said, my secretary said, can you tell me what it's about? She went, well, not really, it's a bit personal. So anyway, she got the number, and I called her in London, and I told her who I was, and this really broad American accent. She said, wow, it's just really good to see you, and I just want to say, your show, I'm not very good with American accent. So I said, well, what's it all about? She said, well, I don't know. She said, I just needed to call you. She said, I just felt as though I had to call you. I saw you on the TV, and I wanted to speak to you. Now, previous to this phone call, had when I had my regression done, I had seen myself in the airplane as a pilot crashing into the Pacific Ocean, as I've just said. Okay, so we were chatting. I was chatting away to this girl, this lady, and she was telling me about who she was and what she did. She said, I have these weird dreams. She said, do you know anything about dreams? I said, well, a little bit, yeah. What sort of dreams were you having? She said, well, she said, I was a young lady, a very pretty young sort of 17, 18-year-old. She said, and I was stood on the beach. And I went, all right, okay, what happened? She said, well, I'm standing there, and I'm sort of got my hand over my eyes because it was sunny, and I'm looking out to sea. She said, and all of a sudden this aeroplane was coming in, a bomber was coming in. It was crash landing into the sea. And as soon as she said that, I went ice cold. You got to remember, she didn't know me from Adam. And I said, well, what happened after that? She said, well, the aeroplane crashed into the sea. The pilot got out of the cockpit onto the wing of the aeroplane, and he smiled at me and waved, and his name came up underneath, Greg Faldo. And the plane sank into the ocean, and it was gone. She said, and when I told her what my regression was all about, that I was a pilot in my last life and I had crashed into the Pacific Ocean and died, we just, oh man, it was just amazing. You know, I think maybe somewhere along the line we knew each other in a past life. Maybe we were boyfriend and girlfriend, or, you know, maybe we made out. I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But that came from a woman I don't even know.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more. Say no more.
Yeah, well, she must have had a feeling about you, you know, and a connection.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was it. And I've never spoke to her since. I've never heard from her since. She just told me that and gone.
Well, I think you could find that guy.
It's 2 o'clock.
There are detailed records of all military people.
Well, he's not in the White House. The White. It was not the White House. The Pentagon. Sorry, certainly not the White House.
All right. Okay, guys. It is the top of the hour, and we're going to have... I selected something really cool. Do you remember our friend Tom? I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try this.
When I was a boy, my family bought a pig. He wasn't very smart. He wasn't very big. But we loved that pig. We raised that pig. We took care of that pig. We danced around with that pig. We drank beer with that pig. We went to school with that pig. I had a bath with that pig. Sometimes I slept with that pig. Well, he was a piggy, just like no other. My old elephant. That pig was like my brother. Piggy boy. Oh, piggy boy. Yeah, piggy boy. A piggy boy.
Nice bit of music. Welcome back to the show, Wolfman.